Well, welcome, friends, to another episode number 5, I believe, for the State of the Football Show. I'm your host, Hutch, and then the guy on the other side of the microphone, that's Trey, my co
What's up,
host.
Hutch?
What's up, man?
How are you?
Oh, it's been quite the day, sir, quite the day. But
I know. Recording this pretty late.
yeah, it's
About
just,
11 o'clock our time.
yeah, just goes to show how much we love this stuff, you know?
Dedication.
Dedication. We have some pretty interesting little tidbit topics. Um, today we have today's podcast we have the 2021 quarterback draft class. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but this was supposed to be one of the better quarterback classes that we've ever seen. So we got some fun little information on that. And then we have some of the best NFL players you didn't know were undrafted.
That's right. Maybe.
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 I'm probably going to bomb this one, but that's okay.
I don't know. I have a feeling you might. We'll get to it. You'll know one of them, though.
Yeah. Oh, just one?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
just one. So I saw this guy on someone, I don't know who it was, on Twitter, and he had posted about the 2021 quarterback draft class. And that kind of got the gears turning a little bit. And I looked at it, and this is the draft class that had Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones.
I
Yeah.
remember Trevor Lawrence. That was the only one I could name from this draft class.
Yeah, so Jacksonville obviously drafted Trevor Lawrence at number 1 overall.
Yep.
And then number 2 was Zach Wilson for the New York Jets.
Out of North Dakota State, right? Or was it
No,
Wyoming?
BYU.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought he came from like one of those lower D2 schools.
No, that was Trey Lance. He played at North Dakota State
Oh,
for 1 year.
okay.
And I,
Okay.
I actually found out some pretty interesting stuff, and we'll kind of get into it just a little bit later about Trey Lance. San Francisco traded up to number 3 and selected Trey Lance from North Dakota State.
Okay, so the
And
top three picks: Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
yep, yep,
Wow, one, two, three.
1, 2, 3. And this is the draft that Kyle Pitts got picked at number 4, the tight end for the Falcons,
Okay,
which he
um,
hasn't turned out to be all that great. But
has to be the highest a tight end has ever been selected.
kind of agree with you. I would have to look that up, but it seems pretty high for a tight end for sure.
Absolutely.
And
And
then
I was gonna say Trevor Lawrence. This is that coming off of his natty with Clemson, right?
no, that was the. I don't know if he ever
Okay.
won one. I don't think he did. I think
Wow.
that was with Deshaun Watson that won it.
Trevor Lawrence didn't win a national championship.
I don't
I'm gonna
think
look this
so.
up real quick.
Yeah, look it up. I don't think he did because uh, another little thing that I was gonna talk about was how deep the Alabama team was this year in the draft for
Okay.
the 2021 year. So actually, I'll just go ahead and talk about it now.
Well, it says real quick. It says I'm going to prove myself right and wrong at the same time. He won one in 2018 as a freshman.
Okay. Okay.
So there you go.
2018?
That's what it says.
Oh, so that has to be the Deshaun Watson, right?
Uh, yeah, I guess
If he was a freshman,
it says he passed for 347 yards, 3 touchdowns.
there we go.
I don't know. We can edit all this out if I'm wrong. If we find out I'm wrong.
Oh, it's all good. I trust you. I trust you.
All right.
Going back to you're talking about the national championship and that type of stuff. This is the year, the COVID year, 2021 draft class. This is the
Oh yeah.
year that Ohio State and Alabama played each other in the national championship. Ohio State actually only played 8 total games the whole season, and they went 7-1, losing to Alabama in the championship.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of, I completely
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah, I did too. I absolutely forgot. So they only played half the year. Did Alabama play only 8 games?
No, they played 13.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I had completely forgot this happened because, I mean, at that time, I really wasn't watching too much college football just because Alabama's always winning it. It just got kind of old.
Yeah.
That was the year that Justin Fields was playing for Ohio State. You had Mac Jones for the quarterback for Bama, Najee Harris, the running back, Devontae Smith. Uh, is it Jalen Waddle? I believe. Yeah, Jalen
Okay.
Waddle. So
The tight end.
no, Jalen Waddle's the wide receiver.
Oh,
Yeah, he got selected number 6 in this draft, right behind Jamar Chase for at number 5.
it's a pretty good draft you're describing so far.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly go down the list. I won't go all the way down, but just hit on the high notes. So number 1 was Trevor Lawrence, number 2 Zach Wilson, 3 Trey Lance, 4 Kyle Pitts, 5 Jamar Chase, 6 Jalen Waddle, 7 I always mess up his name, Penny Sewell, the left tackle. Number 8 was J.C. Horn. 9 Patrick Surtain. 10 Devontae
Oh yes,
Smith. Yeah. 11 Justin Fields and 12 Micah Parsons.
that's right.
And then you had Rashawn Slater at number 13. Vera Tucker for the Jets at 14, and then 15 Mac Jones. And
Who?
they're Mac Jones. Oh, nice. I see the reference. I got you. That's so funny. But yeah, those are the ones I'll go over. But number 24 was Najee Harris. So, and there's some other Alabama players on that in the draft as well. Probably just not super well known.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. It's a pretty solid draft. I definitely remember Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
I guess kind of going back to the 2021 NFL quarterback draft.
Yes.
It was obviously one of the more hyped drafts for quarterbacks that I can remember, minus Andrew Luck and those type of guys. But as far as total quarterbacks in the draft, this was a pretty supposed deep draft. With 5 quarterbacks taken in the first 15 picks.
Golly.
Yeah.
That's
And
not happening this year.
no, it is definitely not. But these guys were billed as potential franchise altering players. Now, 4 seasons later, this class of quarterbacks looks like a historic bust, in all honesty. And
Yeah, like in my head I'm thinking there's only one still starting, right?
that's correct, yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
not good.
even Trevor Lawrence, he's not doing all that great either.
No, he got benched last season for a game or two.
Oh, did he?
I think so, yeah.
I knew he was fighting off some injuries too. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence. He was picked first overall by the Jaguars. The golden boy, but has he delivered? So the expectations for Lawrence was held as a can't miss prospect,
Yeah.
and he was often compared to Andrew Luck and even Peyton Manning. He was
Wow.
supposedly supposed to be a generational talent.
I mean, I can't say that I didn't think those same things when he was coming out of college. I thought he was going to be really, really good.
So did I. I didn't know if he would be as good as Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
but he definitely had some very good traits, and I know a lot of people were really high on him, which was warranted, honestly. But so the reality is his record is 20 and 30 as a starter in his first 3 seasons. His
Mm.
inconsistency, he has flashes of elite ability, but
Yeah.
is widely inconsistent, and he struggles with turnovers and decision making. So, and another knock, which is technically not his fault, is just the coaching chaos that he's dealt with.
Yeah, they had Urban Meyer for like 6 games or something, right? And that
Yeah, so his rookie year, he was under Urban Meyer, which ended up being one of the worst coaching hires in NFL history.
is it's and that's wild what that Urban Meyer season was.
Oh, yeah, it was something
And the
about the
video,
kicker. Yeah, the kicker, like he hit the kicker or something.
I don't. Yeah, that kind. I just remember the video of him in the bar with
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the young
okay.
lady.
Yes. Not his wife.
That was not his wife.
Not
Yeah.
his wife. But going back to Trevor Lawrence, his injuries in 2023, he had shoulder and ankle injuries, which obviously hurt his performances.
Mm, yeah.
Lawrence, I wouldn't say Lawrence has been a bust, but he hasn't exactly been a star either. And
Yeah.
he kind of teeters on average starter versus franchise quarterback.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far to say that he's a bust as well. I think that franchise has just been kind of chaotic since he's got there. Like you said, the coaching carousel and
Mm-hmm.
they just haven't been that good. They just haven't put a good team around him.
I will.
Their defense has been pretty good a couple of seasons, but offensively, I don't think he's had much to work with.
Yeah, I know he has Brian Thomas, the wide receiver. He had a really good season last year.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, I think this is his third head coach in his career.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Urban Meyer, then Doug Peterson, and then
the guy
uh,
from Tampa
who they
Bay.
have. Yeah, that was he.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name, but so that's typically not good for your young quarterback to have that much turnover, but at the end of the day, it's a winning league. You got to win, and that's what happens.
Is it Liam Cohen?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think I've seen his press conferences. I remember them being kind of making news a few months ago.
Well, he kind of flipped back when he was getting hired and stuff because he originally interviewed. He didn't like the GM of the Jaguars and said he was going to go back to Tampa Bay as offensive coordinator. And then the Jaguars fired the GM, and then he came back and took the job.
Okay,
So,
so he got his way.
yeah.
That's a great way to start a relationship with the team.
Yeah, it's just, it's pretty crazy.
Hmm. Well, but
So, you what?
I was gonna say like you said earlier, not a bust, and you know there's he's the only one still playing out of that draft class.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to call him a bust, but he definitely is a average starter, in my opinion.
yeah, not where people thinking coming out of college.
But I'm still, if they put the right personnel around him, I think he will be fine. I just don't think he's
Oh yeah,
Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning, is what some people were saying.
yeah, I do too.
All right, so that leads us to number 2, Zach Wilson. He was picked second overall by the New York Jets. Essentially, I would consider him the poster child of this busted quarterback class.
Hmm. Yeah,
The expectations of him coming out of the draft were his cannon of an arm. He does have a good arm. His mobility, and some would even say his Mahomes like upside that he had in college.
Like just keeping plays alive. Like he's like, mobile,
Exactly.
moving out of the pocket, throwing on the run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the reality is his career completion percentage is only 57%. And that's one of the
Ouch.
worst. Yeah, that's one of the worst in starting quarterbacks.
You could have a better completion percentage than that, Hutch.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. But his touchdown to interception ratio, he's got 23 touchdowns to 25 interceptions.
Mm.
He's benched repeatedly. Simply didn't look like he knew any of the most basic NFL reads when he was out there. His own locker room was constantly calling him out for his lack of accountability, especially in the post game comments. So, in conclusion, Zach Wilson is a disaster pick. I mean, I don't really
I
see
would agree.
him. I just don't see him being a starting quarterback other than if. So, right now, he's a backup. If the starter quarterback went down, he would be a starter, obviously, but I don't, he's not going to get picked up by a team to come start for them.
No, he's definitely not. But you know who he's backing up for, right?
Oh, yeah. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, Tua Tagovailoa. So he's probably gonna get some playing time this year.
Yeah.
I would imagine Tua's gonna miss a few games.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is one of the better landing spots for Zach Wilson if he is going to, um, I guess, kind of
Yeah,
turn back his career. There's probably only other couple places I would trust him at, and probably the Vikings, 49ers, Rams, those
and
type
you're
of teams that know how to coach a quarterback.
yeah. I was gonna say because of the coach, like Mike
Yes,
McDaniel's will if he has to play. I mean, yeah, it's because of Coach McDaniel's
for
that he will
sure.
do good. Yeah,
Yeah, he's a schemer. So I think that fits well for him, for Zach Wilson, because he'll figure out how to make him successful.
yeah. Just kind of tell him what to do. Don't give him. He's not gonna go out there and read the defense and change the play. You know, he kind of give him a couple plays and just send him out there. Got to
Yeah,
protect him.
yeah, for sure. And just like you had said earlier, I think he's gonna play a few games for sure.
Yeah.
So we will definitely see him, which I'm kind of excited. I want to see him in a different uniform. I know he played for the Broncos last year, but I don't think he went in at all. So
Yeah, I didn't even know that, so
yeah,
probably not.
I'm not for sure where he was at on the draft or the on the roster, but I know he didn't play at all. So other than probably handing it off or whatever.
He's gonna have a lot of fun down in Miami, being a backup quarterback. You know, you can just got a lot of free time,
Yeah, he is.
kind of troll for some single moms.
Yeah. At number 3, we have Trey Lance, and he was third overall for the San Francisco 49ers. And I have him labeled as the mystery man of the class. He
Yeah,
only played one season for North Dakota State. His expectations were high ceiling and raw talent.
yeah, because of COVID, right? That's why he didn't play very much.
Yes, correct.
One of those COVID players.
So I have here, I'm pretty sure this is correct, but I think he only has 4 career starts in 3 years because he suffered that broken ankle in 2022. And then he eventually lost the job to Brock Purdy, was traded to Dallas.
Yep.
And let's see.
for a 4th-round pick.
That's correct. Yeah, so the 49ers gave up 3 first-round picks for Trey Lance.
Wow, I didn't know they gave up that much for Trey Lance.
Yeah. I'm trying to find in my notes. I have something extra about him that I thought
And then
was so cool.
So did they get Brock Purdy in the same draft, in the 7th round of this draft?
That I don't know.
I can look that up.
Well, you're doing that. So I honestly thought this was a typo at first, but I went ahead and looked at Trey Lance's stats. He has barely thrown over 1,000 passing yards and only has 5 touchdown passes his entire career.
Oh my god. So he just hasn't played at all.
No, he hasn't. So he's kind of like the same. Like, do you really give up on him because he's barely played?
Okay, so Brock Purdy was selected in the 2022 draft, but
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, if Kyle Shanahan doesn't see a whole lot in you and is willing to trade you, I mean, he's the kind of guy that can coach quarterbacks and kind of see talent, I think, when it comes to that position. So if he's willing to send you away, then you know there's something there that's not right. That's my opinion.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. But you also have to remember this was the year that I had heard, ESPN and all those type of sports places talking about how Kyle Shanahan wanted Mac Jones, but John Lynch wanted Trey Lance. And there was always like that kind of supposed banter between each other, which one to pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can kind of go over that here in a little bit. But so at number 4 we have Justin Fields, and he was the 11th overall pick by the Chicago Bears. I have here for Mr. Justin Fields, he is an electric runner but a shaky passer. He did have a big arm with elite. He's athletically he's elite. Proven winner at Ohio State. But unfortunately, the reality is his stats 40 touchdowns to 30 interceptions with more rushing than passing highlights, which, if you're a quarterback, that's usually not a good thing.
No, not at all. But again, I think he's a victim of his environment. You know, the Bears were not very good, and when he went to Pittsburgh, I think he did much better.
Agreed.
With a
Yeah.
better coach, better organization.
Yeah, just like Lawrence, he's had that coaching carousel. Just
Yeah.
bad coaching, poor offensive lineman. Kind of not his fault, but at the end of the day, he did hold on to the football way too long at times, and he was just very inconsistent in his accuracy. Doesn't usually mend well with having offensive line issues, especially if you're holding the ball too long.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's just I don't. I heard somebody say that this a long time ago, and I think it's true that when your head coach is a defensive, like a defensive coordinator, like Eberflus was, or a defensive coach, you know, it's hard for a quarterback because in that situation, the offense can change every year. If they get a new OC or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Versus whether your coach is a former offensive coordinator, the same offense, like the offensive concepts remain the same. So it's more consistency for a quarterback, which is pretty important for especially a young quarterback coming out of the draft.
Yeah,
I think it's
for sure. I mean,
just
you can get away with it on the defense because you don't technically have a quarterback type position on the defense. It's
yeah,
usually kind of it's the whole unit.
yeah,
As far as like offense, everything runs through the quarterback.
yeah, yeah. So when you're always having that change in the play caller, it's just I don't know, it makes it difficult. I would think.
Oh, 100%. It has to be. There's no way it doesn't.
So now Justin's with the Jets, right? Took a
Yes.
2-year deal or something with the Jets, I think.
I think it was a 2-year deal. I know we had talked about it, but I'm pretty sure it was. So in conclusion, I wouldn't consider Justin Fields a complete bust, but I don't really think I don't think he's gonna be a franchise type guy. So
No. That's why he only got a 2-year deal.
for sure. I mean, you never know what they're gonna do in the draft this year. So which is coming up next week?
Yeah,
I think
next
so.
this Thursday.
Yeah. So that should be fun. I'm excited.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
If it wasn't at 7 or 7:30, I'd say let's record live while we're watching a draft, but I don't think I can make that work.
Yeah, it may be kind of hard.
Yeah.
All right, so the number 5 quarterback taken off the board was Mac Jones. He was 15th overall, and he went to the New England Patriots. Mac Jones is kind of interesting. He started off really well.
Yeah,
Uh,
they went to the playoffs.
yeah, he seemed to be, he didn't have lights out stats, I guess, but for a rookie, I thought they were pretty good. And I was kind of like, oh, Patriots got somebody. But then, he kind of just crashed hard like later on, and he just never got back to where he was.
Say that's a bust.
Yeah. So his rookie year, he had 3,800 passing yards with 22 touchdowns.
It's a
Pretty,
solid year.
yeah, you can't hate on that at all.
No.
Uh, Year 2 and 3 were definitely regressions for him. His mechanics, confidence, it all started falling apart. And I don't, I don't know if you remember this or not, but this is the year 20. So it was his second year in the league when Bill Belichick gave Matt Patricia the OC job. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Gave him the OC job,
Yes.
but Patricia's the defense guy.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that was the year that Patricia got fired, or the
From
year
the
before.
Lions.
Yeah. And then he was hired on to be the OC.
Because you brought up Matt Patricia, so I was thinking I
Mm-hmm.
thought Josh McDaniels was the OC. So his first season with the Patriots, McDaniels was his OC, and then he left to go coach the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's when Matt Patricia came on as the OC. So I completely forgot that the former defensive coordinator for the Patriots came back as an offensive coordinator for the Patriots, but
Hilarious.
I guess. And then he had Bill O'Brien, former Texans coach, I think.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So maybe that's why he was so successful. He had McDaniels that first year.
Yeah, I would agree. And then in 2023, he got benched. He had 10 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. And then eventually got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars as a backup. And then most recently, he is a San Francisco 49er.
Okay.
So,
The backup for Brock Purdy.
yes, sir. This year will be his first year with the 49ers. Kind of interesting. So 4 out of the 5 quarterbacks are all on different teams now. And they've all went to multiple teams at that. Zach Wilson went to the Broncos, and now he's with the Dolphins. Trey Lance to the Cowboys, and now he's with the Chargers. Justin Fields, Pittsburgh, now he's a Jet. And then Mac Jones, Jaguars, and then now he's with the 49ers.
I don't know. I think there's still more to come from some of those players.
Yeah, I mean,
Possibly.
I think Justin Fields has a solid potential for a
Yeah.
couple more years. Maybe Zach Wilson. And I think Trevor Lawrence will will bounce back. I have a little kind of the big themes of this whole quarterback draft class. So the first thing is the coaching dysfunctions with Urban Meyer and Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
And then you have injuries for Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Lawrence. And then the bad supporting cast were the Jets, Bears, and Patriots. I also have here the overdrafting based on the traits, and that was for Zach Wilson and Trey Lance.
Like kind of a reach. Like a reach
Yeah, exactly.
didn't need to go that high. Especially give up 3 first rounders for Trey Lance. What do they do?
Yeah, based off really nothing.
I thought it started 7 games in college or whatever you said earlier. The bold.
Yeah, I do have a little bit of a tidbit thing that I was kind of did this on I guess it was late last night. I was curious if all these teams, if their GMs were still around. Well,
The ones that made these picks.
yes.
All
And
right.
lo and behold, only one is technically still with the team, and that's John Lynch.
Right. The 49ers.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about this. I guess he's called a president now, but I don't know if he still has the GM title or he is both positions. So
I think you might have both positions.
yeah, I'm just chalking it up. He's still with the franchise. I consider
Yeah.
he's probably dealing with all that type of stuff. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
him and Kyle Shanahan, I don't remember their story, but they've been together for a while. Like they came from the same, I don't know if it was the Falcons or not, but him and Kyle Shanahan have come up through the ranks together. I just can't quite remember their story.
well, I think so. John Lynch was doing announcing, and then he got the job for the 49ers. And then that's when John Lynch approached Kyle Shanahan and said, "Hey, I want you to be my head coach."
Okay.
That's what I that's what I've
They don't have
understood.
they didn't have any other history before that?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought,
Not,
man, I don't know.
not that I'm aware of.
All right. Just wild speculation on my part, but I don't know. I want to make a note to look that up later
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of
for
uh,
next episode.
yeah, it just kind of says what I already said. This one says the Falcons offensive coordinator was Kyle Shanahan, who Lynch didn't really know that well yet.
I'm completely wrong on that.
Yeah.
I like it.
I thought it was kind of interesting
Yeah.
about the none of the GMs being around anymore. Rightfully so.
Yeah, it's a high pressure, high demand position. You don't produce, they will move on.
And that list actually does include Bill Belichick.
Unless you're the owner of the team, NFL GM doesn't last very long.
Yeah. That's what I got on this segment.
Well,
Hopefully
good deal.
hopefully it was informative.
Yeah, I had forgot about every one of those quarterbacks except for Trevor Lawrence coming out of that draft. So
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Trevor Lawrence did sign a 5-year $275 million contract extension in 2024. So he definitely got paid more than the other ones.
so he's good.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's set. Well, good, Hutch. Got a couple of news things if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do a news with Trey.
Very again, just scraping and clawing for this stuff. It's been pretty slow. Next week should be better because I'll have the draft to talk about. A couple of guys I've never heard of, but they signed some deals. The Cardinals signed wide receiver Greg Dortch.
Okay.
Don't know anything about him.
Me neither.
37 receptions last year for 342 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Oh wow.
So hope they didn't sign him for a ton of money. Broncos signed Devin Key, a safety with 30 tackles last year and 1 sack, to his exclusive rights tender.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. See, scraping, man, just bottom of the barrel. There's just nothing. I did read where Brock Purdy is in talks with the Niners for a new contract. This is his last season on his rookie deal.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers have made him an offer, but from what I read, his agent hasn't even like presented it to Brock. It's not even worth talking about.
Oh,
So
wow.
that one's going nowhere. I'm sure they'll get something done though. For I would say before the start of the season. Next on the list, I got Jackson Dart, quarterback. He said he's not going to attend the draft.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
I think a lot of people like Mel Kiper and some other mock drafts have him going number one, or not number one, but in the first round. But I guess maybe he knows something we don't because he's not going to be there. And then the last story I got, this is a real sad story. Did you hear about Kyron Lacey?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so LSU player projected to go in the first round, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But crazy story. He, I guess, was involved in a fatal car crash in December of 24 and was set to go before a grand jury for negligent homicide.
Oh, wow.
And I guess he wasn't invited to the combine because of this charge, and had got into an altercation with his family. Firearm was discharged. He got in his car and sped away. I think there was a police chase, and then he ended up committing suicide while driving the car.
Oh, wow. That's terrible.
Yeah, real sad story. Only 25. Everybody kind of thinks that he wasn't going to be indicted. Like the grand jury was going to dismiss this charge or whatever. So weird
Yeah.
stories. That obviously very, very sad, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I had heard something about they're going to, like you had said, it wasn't going to go to trial and he was going to get off of it.
Yeah, so maybe not going to be a first round pick, but somebody would have taken a chance on him later on, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely sad stuff.
Like I said, man, that's all I got. Next week, I'm looking forward to it. There'll be a lot more news to go over.
Yeah,
The whole show
it's
just might be news.
yeah. Hopefully it's not just a bunch of I know we ramble now, but that show's going to be a lot of rambling for sure.
Yeah,
Maybe a
I can't wait.
tough listen, but I think it's going to be so much fun
It could be 4 hours long next week.
without even trying.
Yeah,
Oh,
but so the other thing I got, Hutch, is since the draft is coming up next week, I got to thinking about some really good players that went undrafted, and so I kind of looked it up, and there's some there's two. I got 3 players that were undrafted, and I'll be honest with you, I only knew of one of them at the beginning,
hmm.
and the one of the ones I didn't know went undrafted. I'm pretty kind of embarrassed to admit, but I guess we'll start with one of my favorites, and I'm sure you know who this is. Coming out of Eastern Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
undrafted, played 12 seasons,
Number 9?
number 9, 4 Pro Bowls, a 97.1 career passer rating. That ranks 3rd in all time, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hype him
Mr.
up.
Mr. Tony Romo.
Ah, I gotta make the sound effects.
Crowd goes crazy.
Mr. Romo.
Yeah. So this is the only one that I knew was undrafted out of the other 2 I'm going to give you. But,
That's okay.
you know, coming out of Eastern Illinois, just a small school, just not a D2 school. Nobody really paid much attention to it. But, Bill Parcells saw something in him, gave him a chance.
Yes, sir.
but that's just me as a Cowboy fan. I had to mention Tony Romo.
It's
Uh,
warranted. Definitely warranted.
yeah, one of the best undrafted players ever. We can all admit that.
Yeah. His later in his career, such a good quarterback. Just unfortunately, injuries happen and
Oh
just
my gosh.
kind of get the best of him, unfortunately.
I mean, once your back is hurt, Hutch, that's it. It's done.
Oh yeah.
Can't come back from that.
Nope.
The second one, I don't know. I'll throw out a few things and we'll see if you can guess it. Maybe he's a tight end, one of the best tight ends in history, in my opinion. 3 All-Pro selections, 8 Pro Bowls. Played basketball coming out of college. He didn't play
Antonio Gates.
football. There you go. Look at that. Undrafted out of Kent State. Like I said, he played basketball in college. He hadn't played football since high school.
Mhm.
Um, he went undrafted uh, by the NBA as well. Nobody wanted him.
It's
But
crazy.
yeah, played 13 seasons. I believe all with the Chargers.
I think that's correct.
844 career receptions for 10,000 yards, 10,644 yards, and 104 touchdowns. It's a solid career. Like I said, probably one, in my opinion, one of the best.
Yeah, he
And
played
then
a long time.
the last one, Hutch, has to be the most successful undrafted player coming out of the draft.
Okay.
I mean, do I even have to give you hints? Can you just throw a name out there?
Undrafted?
Yeah, undrafted. Won a
Uh,
Super Bowl.
won a Super Bowl undrafted.
Had at one time posted the 3 best single game passing yard totals in Super Bowl history. Of course, now that's now held by the great Tom Brady.
I actually don't know.
It's Kurt Warner.
Oh, Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner out of Northern Iowa.
Okay.
Obviously, he played 12 seasons, signed by the St. Louis Rams, played with them. I think he played the Cardinals as well for a little bit.
Yes. Yeah, I took them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. 4 Pro Bowl, 2-time All Pro, 2-time league MVP. Like I
Yeah.
said earlier, had the record for single game passing yardage in the Super Bowl.
And he
He
was fun
only
to
so
watch.
yeah, he only started. So he played at a small school, like I said, Northern Iowa, and he only started his senior year. So he didn't play a whole lot in college.
Okay.
So didn't have a lot of tape out there, as they say. And then he actually went after college and played in the Arena League and played in Europe a little bit too.
Yeah.
And then
Gonna ask if
got
I
a,
thought he had played with one of those arena teams.
yeah, I didn't catch which one he played with, but played there, played in Europe, and then signed with the Rams, and then got a chance when their quarterback, what was his name, Trent Green, got injured,
Yes, sir.
and Kurt Warner came in, and the rest is history.
That was Trent Green was a Dick Vermeil guy.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
so there you go, Hutch. There's some, I know we got the draft coming up, but there's some players that went undrafted, and I'd say great careers.
Yeah.
2 of them Hall of Famers, Kurt Warner in the Hall of Fame. He should be.
No, he is.
He is. What about Antonio Gates? Probably not, right?
I don't think so, but
Not quite there.
if you would have said basketball player, I would have immediately said Antonio Gates. So therefore, I'm kind of mad at you.
Okay.
I have a
I
question
did
for you,
say
Trey.
eventually.
I have a
What's up?
question. Let's
Yes, Tony Romo should be in the Hall of Fame. Is that the question?
no, but yeah, I would agree. Even though people would probably shoot me,
Yeah.
I think he was a good quarterback. But maybe you have to be great. I don't know. But now my question is, do you know of a quarterback that was actually a insurance agent at one time? And he
Quarterback
played
was
starting quarterback in the NFL.
Was this like back in the '60s when they only got paid $4,000
No, this
and they had to
was
have a full-time job?
no, this was late 90s, early 2000s era.
Oh man, no, I have no idea.
Okay. That
You got any
man,
hints?
it's gonna be hard. It's
All right.
with the team that's, I'll just give you Steelers.
No, I'm not gonna know, man. If it wasn't Ben Roethlisberger, I have no idea.
No, Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Don't remember that guy?
I don't remember Tommy Maddox.
I remember him. I always remember these weird quarterbacks. They're always like Elvis Garback for the Baltimore Ravens. Remember that guy?
No,
No?
no. I
He,
remember Joe Flacco and Lamar Jackson.
so Elvis Garback was after Trent Dilfer won that Super Bowl with the
Okay.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know these random quarterbacks. I don't know what to tell you.
No, I don't. I mean, there's this period in my life when, in my early 20s, when I lived in a rent house with a bunch of guys and we could not afford things like TVs and stuff.
I think after Tommy Maddox, it was Cordell Stewart, or maybe it was before. I can't remember.
I definitely remember Cordell.
Let me
That
look
had to
at
have been
this.
before though, because Cordell was. I was in high school, I think.
It was around the same time.
Was it?
Yeah, the later part of Cordell's tenure, but yeah, I just have these random quarterbacks that I remember. I don't know if it's because I mean yeah, I definitely watched a lot more football when I was younger, but I was also a big Madden player too. That probably helped.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to keep up with the
Yeah, Elvis Garback played 1 year in Baltimore.
1 year and you remember him.
Yeah,
It's impressive.
thanks, man. Remember who is it? Brian Leftwich when he played for Marshall, and they had to pick him up and take him to midfield on the winning drive.
I told.
Don't
I
remember
remember
that?
Brian Leftwich. I don't remember that.
Yeah, man.
Why'd they
Don't
have to pick him up?
he like messed up his leg? You don't remember
Okay.
that? It's like an iconic
No,
moment.
no, I don't. For Marshall football, I
Oh
don't
man,
recall.
I watched that game
Well, I didn't grow up in the West,
in the
West Texas,
West.
in West Texas.
Oh man, you're gonna have to watch that on YouTube.
All right,
Yeah, 38 seconds, carry down the field.
Brian Leftwich,
What does it say? Breaking. What did he break? He messed up something.
femur.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I just said that.
That's. Ooh. It says here that after returning to play the game after breaking his shin in the first quarter.
Ow,
Yeah.
that
God,
sounds painful.
yeah, it does. What a man.
I mean, I remember like taking a bicycle pedal to the shin and thought
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna die. I can't remember actually breaking that thing.
Oh,
That sounds
yeah.
horrible.
It's one of those random little things.
You do have a lot of random little things.
I do, man. All right. Well, you want to close this one out, sir?
Yeah, man. We got time to talk about Paige Buckets coming over to the Wings?
Yeah. So, ironically, I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, but my girlfriend, her name's Paige, and she
Oh
wanted
yeah.
me because she's kind of from the same town area.
Okay.
So she wanted me to listen to how she talks, and she does not sound like a Minnesota person.
No? What does she sound like? Just a normal.
Definitely not what I expected.
Well, when her and Caitlin Clark with the Indiana Fever come to town, they are going to play at the AAC. They're moving that
Yes.
they're moving that game from the UTA campus where they normally play to the AAC. So
Yeah, did you see how much the ticket prices are?
no, how much?
Yeah. So my girlfriend, she looked them up, and the cheapest ticket is like $250, I think, somewhere around there. So it's gonna be packed.
Let's go.
I'm scared. I don't know if I could ever step foot in AAC ever again.
That's true. It's too many memories.
It's just too many.
It's sad.
Let's see.
God, did you see AD hurt himself, like blow out his MCL when he took an air ball, throwing up an air ball?
Is that what he messed up?
No, I don't. They haven't said what he messed up. I think he had. I mean, I know he got hurt earlier in the game. He landed on somebody's foot or something,
Oh wow.
and he grabbed the back of his knee, but he threw up an air ball, and you could tell he didn't want to take it because he got the ball and he was wide open for a three,
Mm-hmm.
and he dribbled a little bit, and a defender came out, and so he had to shoot, and he airballed it, and then he just went down.
Did you see all the memes about Nico?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that one you posted.
Yeah, I was gonna allude to that. That's so. I'll put it up on the video, but it's Nico. He's doing the little side eye stare, and then the other picture next to him is Scar from The Lion King doing a similar look. So
Yeah, ESPN didn't do him any favors by cutting straight to him when Anthony Davis went down, grabbing his leg.
no, they they did him dirty.
They immediately went to Nico.
And then there's another meme about that too. I think it's Shaquille O'Neal. He's got the camera and he's recording somebody, and then he quickly pans to something else, and that's kind of what they were saying that ESPN was doing. Thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man.
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
I guess we're a little bit late on this, but in October 20th, it looks like the New York Liberty won the WNBA championship. Didn't know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, we got to be diverse, Trey. We got to put in some little WNBA nuggets.
This will be the state of football / WNBA show.
Yeah, looks like their preseason starts May 2nd.
They have okay. Let's go. Do they have a summer league in Vegas going on right now?
That I don't know.
Can I watch Paige?
I know that Dallas is playing Las Vegas May 2nd.
Okay.
And then Brazil is playing Chicago. I don't really.
Right.
I guess like that's the country. Brazil is playing a WNBA team. So.
Okay, Hutch. Do you remember like the Olympics?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember the Brazil volleyball team in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking up tickets right now. Well, it's in Chicago. We'd have to go to Chicago.
I mean, I need to see the Brazil basketball team.
For the podcast, though, right?
Yeah, for research purposes.
Yeah. I think we could
write it off.
I think we can get you there.
All right.
I think we can buy a ticket and,
Just one way. I don't need a round trip.
Just
one way.
One way. Okay. Okay. I got you.
Back.
You're not coming back. Or you're coming back on the team plane.
Coming back on the
Or do they have the team?
Brazil.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you have a passport? Yeah, you do have a passport.
The team charter bus back to Brazil.
Oh no. Hopefully, I'm sure they have an airplane.
Commercial.
Yeah, for sure. Commercial. 100%. All right. That's some good WNBA talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right.
All
Well,
right.
let's go ahead and close this one out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you're still listening, we appreciate all the support. This is I think I said this is our fifth episode. So it's kind
Yes,
of,
sir.
I guess, a milestone, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely. I'll call it that.
There you go. But yeah, we appreciate all the support. Once again, this is the State of Football show. My name's Hutch, and Trey's on the other side of the microphone, and we appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Next week is draft week, so that should be a lot of fun.
Very excited. Take it easy, Hutch.
Yes, sir. We'll see you later, Trey.
Later, man.